growing plants. So first of all, I'm going to revise what we have learned till now. So we have learned about reproduction, giving birth to the young one of their own kind is known as reproduction. Then we have done reproduction from seed. We have also studied about structure of seed. Means yes, structure of seed. Basically three parts of seed: seed coat, the outer hard covering, seed leaves, and embryo. If the seed having one seed leaf, it is known as monocot. If it is having two seed leaf, it is known as dicot. The third part of seed is embryo. It is a baby plant which lies between the seed leaves. Embryo has two parts, radicle and plumule. The radicle developed into seed, into root, and the plumule grows out into stem. The part of the seed which goes downward and become a root is known as a radicle, and the part of the seed which grows outward, means out of the soil, and become stem is called plumule. Then seed germination, the condition necessary for germination are water, sunlight, and air. They have also performed an activity. After that, we have done seed dispersal and its agents. Means scattering of the seeds, means spreading out of the seed is known as seed dispersal, and it is done by the nature, by some natural method like wind, water, animal, and bursting. So four type of agent of seed dispersal we have already discussed. The first one was seed dispersal by wind. Some of the seeds are scattered here and there, means moving from one place to the another with the help of fast moving air, means wind. Example are cotton, dandelion, and the maple seeds, because they are light weighted and having wing like structure, so they can easily move from one place to another place with the help of wind. The second method is seed dispersal by water. The seed like coconut can easily float in water and carries with the help of flowing water from one place to the another place. Seed dispersal by animal. Animal and bird eat the whole fruit at one place and pass out the undigested food after some time at the another place. So the such seeds which germinate at the place away from the parent's plant, and this method is seed dispersal by animals. The another method of seed dispersal by explosion. Some fruits, some ripened fruits explode, and seeds may get scattered away from the parent's plant, and this is the method of seed dispersal by explosion. So the topic for today is reproduction from other parts of the plants. So we have seen the reproduction with the help of seeds. So now in today's lecture, we will discuss about reproduction from other parts, means other than seeds. So is it possible that the reproduction of plants means giving birth to the new plants without seeds? Without seeds means some other parts. So let's start. Reproduction from other parts. Plants can sometimes arise from the body part of the parent's plants. So many a time we have seen that plants grow without seeds. So how is it possible? It is reproduced or it is grown with the help of some body part of the parent's plants. So what are the body parts of the plants? Means the plant is having leaf, plant is having stem, it is having root. So is it possible to grow a new plant with the help of leaf, with the help of stem, with the help of root? Yes, it is possible. So plant can be grown, can be reproduced without seeds. So in today's topic, we will discuss this process of reproduction by which a plant reproduces from its body part like root, stem, leaf, etc. is called vegetative reproduction. So it is known as vegetative reproduction. So root, stem, leaves are the vegetative parts. So I'm talking about the parts of the plants like leaf, stem, roots. These are the vegetative parts. So now we are taking a technical term, vegetative parts. It is not a vegetable. We are very much familiar with the vegetable, the word with vegetable. It is not vegetable, it is vegetative parts. Vegetative parts, which are the vegetative parts? Root, stem, leaves of plant are known as vegetative parts. So the reproduction with the help of vegetative parts like root, stem, leaves is known as a vegetative reproduction. Means in this type of reproduction, we will grow a new plant, we will produce a baby plant, new baby plant without seed. But we will take the help of root, stem, and leaves. So new plants will be grown with the help of vegetative parts like root, stem, leaves. So the reproduction with the help of vegetative parts like root, stem, leaves is known as vegetative reproduction. तो उसको vegetative reproduction हम consider करेंगे, हम कहेंगे. So the reproduction from stem. Some plants can grow from stem. Some plants can grow from roots. Some plants can grow from leaves. So first of all, we'll take the reproduction from stem. Some plants can grow from stem. A piece of stem cutting carrying buds from the mother plants is cut and planted in the soil. This is called stem cutting. Like rose, take an example of rose plant or sugarcane. We will cut the part of stem of the parent's plant and buried it into the soil and planted it in the soil. After some time, from that stem, a fully developed plants will grow. So in this case, we are not taking the seed of rose plant or seeds of sugarcane plant. We are taking the stem. We are cutting the stem and buried that stem into the soil. And from that stem, there will be a fully grown new plant. It is also the type of reproduction, but which type of reproduction? Vegetative reproduction. Why it is known as vegetative reproduction? Because we, and what are the vegetative parts? Stem. So in they are taking stem. A piece of stem carrying buds. And what is a bud? Each and every stem having some bubble-like structure. So that structure is known as the buds. A piece of stem carrying buds from the mother plant is cut and planted into the soil. This is called stem cutting. Each stem then grown into new plant. Grown into new plants. So each and every stem which are having buds will grow into a fully developed new plant. For example, sugarcane, hibiscus, and rose plant. Look at the diagram in your book and also on the screen of your phone. We are having rose plant, we are having hibiscus plant or sugarcane plants. You have already observed or already watched the sugarcane plant in the field, which farmers are growing on a large scale in their field. So each stem then grow into new plants. For example, sugarcane, hibiscus, and the rose. diagram of potato. Potato is also having a bulging out structure, means some white structure on a potato. It is known as the buds. Also in ginger, we can also notice this bulging out structure in ginger also. So some underground stem have small buds on them. When they are placed in the soil, new shoots grow out from the buds. These buds, in case of potato, these buds are also known as the eyes of potato. Eyes of potato. So when they are planted in the soil, new shoots grow out from the buds. Means each and every buds will grow into a new shoots. For example, potato and ginger. So potato and ginger is also stem. So you can remember this example. We are eating potato, ginger day by day. So from which part potato is produced, from which part ginger is reproduced, from which part sugarcane, or we can take the example of rose is produced. These are reproduced by stem. So potato is also a stem, ginger is also a stem. So these are underground stem. Underground stem means stem below the soil. Potato is also grown below the soil, ginger is also grown below the soil, but rose above the soil. Okay, so these are underground stem. So stem, so potato and ginger are also example of stem. So now take the next reproduction, reproduction from roots. So first we have discussed about the stem, which is the vegetative parts, and now we are taking root. Root is also the vegetative parts. So reproduction from roots. A new plant can also grow from the root of mother plant in plant like sweet potato, radish, turnip, beetroot, and dahlia. These are the example of some plants which are reproduced by roots, which are reproduced by roots. So there are some examples like sweet potato, radish, turnip, beetroot, and dahlia. These are the plants which are reproduced, which are grown again and again with the help of their roots. So we can also say that sweet potato and turnip itself is a root. It is a root. So new plant can also grow from the root of the mother plant in plant like sweet potato, radish, turnip, beetroot, and dahlia. So before proceeding, let us do an activity. What is this activity? To do an activity to show that roots and shoots grow in suitable condition. So all the students will perform this activity at their home. As in a previous homework, I have given another activity which is given on page number 3, necessary condition for germination of seeds. Hope you have done this activity at your home. Now the second activity is to do an activity to show that root and shoots grow in suitable condition. When they got the suitable condition, root and shoots grow. In this activity, we'll discuss about this. Take a glass bottle and fill it with water. Take a glass bottle and fill it with water. Keep an onion bulb on the mouth of the bottle. Onion bulb means the onion. Onion is having a root-like structure and one is stem-like structure. The part which is having the root-like structure is placed on the mouth of the bottle. The bottom part of the onion bulb must touch the water inside the bottle. So keep it in mind that the bottom part of the onion bulb, which is having a fiber-like structure, hair-like structure, the hair-like structure must touch the water inside the bottle. So keep the bottle near the window so that it gets plenty of air. So the first condition is water. Second condition for growing a plant is air. And the third one is sunlight. So near the window, onion bulb will get the air, sufficient air, and it will get the sufficient sunlight. So as we have discussed in the activity first, for germination of a plant, for growing of a plant, we are having three necessary conditions. And what are those conditions? Those conditions are water, air, and sunlight. Again, we are taking a plant, we are taking a onion plant, onion bulb. So same condition will be there for their proper growth, means water, air, and sunlight. So keep the bottom bottle near a window so that it get plenty of air and sunlight. Observe the change in the onion regularly up to 10 to 12 days. So we will keep on observing for 10 to 12 days. So what are the changes going on there? Is root is growing up? Its stem is growing up? Is there any change in the onion bulb? So we'll note that observation for 10 to 12 days. So now after observing this, so what we have concluded? So conclusion is, after a few days, you will see that the part of the onion bulb that touches the water has grown roots, and while the part above the bottle has grown shoots. So these are the changes which we have observed during this period of 10 to 12 days. Means the bottom part of the onion bulb having a fiber-like structure, a small fiber-like structure, now they are fully grown into the roots. And the upper part of the onion bulb, the upper part of the onion bulb is now grown into shoots. So this is the activity in which we have studied the root and shoots grow in suitable conditions. And what are those suitable conditions? What are those necessary conditions? Again, water, air, and sunlight. So for any plant, for any seeds or root or stem or leaves, the necessary conditions are same. For their proper growth, for their proper germination, each plant, each seed must have these three conditions: water, air, and sunlight. Without any of these conditions, without any of these, the availability of any of these, no seeds or no plants can fully grow or can survive. So what are those conditions? Those conditions are water, air, and sunlight. These are the necessary conditions. Now the next part, reproduction from leaves and spores. In this topic, we will discuss about reproduction from leaves and spores. Leaves of certain plants produce buds along their margins. So we are having some plants. Take an example like Bryophyllum. So leaf of the Bryophyllum. When we pluck the leaf of Bryophyllum and buried that leaf into the soil, the fully grown or fully developed plant we will get with the help of leaves. So this is the type of reproduction with the help of leaves. So leaves of certain plants produce buds along with their margins. Means the leaves having the flat surface, and the end point of that flat surface is known as the margin, and it is having some buds. Means bulging out structure, dotted structure we are having are known as buds. So new plants grow from these leaves if these are placed in a moist soil. Moist soil means a soil having proper amount of moisture, proper amount of water. For example, Bryophyllum leaves. So Bryophyllum leaves, the plant of Bryophyllum is reproduced with the help of their leaves. And leaves are also vegetative parts. Now the next is with the help of spores. Some plants have special structure called spores, which give rise to new plants. These plants do not bear flower or seeds. They are not containing any flower, not containing any seeds. For example, mushroom, fern, mosses. These are the example which are reproduced with the help of spores. They are not having leaves to give rise to. These plants do not bear flower or seeds. They are reproduced with the help of spores. So look at the diagram carefully. Fern with spores. So this is a fern plant having spores. And when that spores are placed in a moist soil, new plant of the fern will be produced. So this is the another method. It is also a type of vegetative reproduction. So students, in today's lecture, what we have learned, now I am repeating that what we have learned in today's lecture. In today's lecture, we have learned about reproduction from other parts of plants other than seeds. Other than seeds. In previous lecture, we have discussed about the reproduction from seeds, but in today's lecture, we have learnt about the reproduction from other parts. And which are those other parts? These other parts are reproduction from stem, from leaves, from roots, from spores. So reproduction from stem, a piece of stem carrying buds is buried in a moist soil, and the new plant will grown from the stem. Example are sugarcane, hibiscus plant, rose plants, potato, ginger. All these are the example of the reproduction from stem. The second method is reproduction from roots. Reproduction from roots, in the same manner, we cut the root of some plants and bury it into the soil, and the new plant will grow with the help of roots, like sweet potato, turnip. These are radish, beetroot are the example of reproduction from roots. After that, we have learned about the activity, and you have to perform this activity at home. Okay, student, listen carefully. You have to do this activity. The first, those students which have not performed the first activity, necessary condition for germination, they will also do that activity and this activity also. So there are the two activity which you have to perform at home. It is very much simple activity, and no such hard such a raw material are used in this activity. We are using the raw material which are easily available at home. So you have to do those activity at home. In this activity, what do you have to do to show that root and shoot grow in suitable condition? Take a bottle, fill it with water up to the brim, means up to the top. Place an onion bulb, means a small onion onto the mouth of the bottle, so that the bottom part of the onion bulb touches the water. After 10 to 12 days, we will observe that the bottom part will convert it into the root, and the upper part will becomes into the shoots. When it got proper air, proper water, and proper sunlight. So this is a simple activity. Reproduction from leaves and spores. There are some plants like Bryophyllum and the fern which are reproduced with the help of leaves and spores. So these are the topic for today. Hope you get the explanation. If you are having any problem or any doubt, you may ask your question one by one. Have a nice day. Akash sir, please allow the student to ask their question. If they are having any difficulty, they may ask their question one by one. Please allow the student to ask their question. Akash sir, okay student, wait for a minute. Akash ji, Akash sir, allow the student to ask their question. Okay student, these are the topic for today. You may leave the class one by one. All students listen carefully. Leave the class one by one. Yes. In next lecture, I will take your queries. Any doubt if you are having. Okay, leave the class one by one. Student, in next class, we will take your queries and doubt. Leave one by one. Yes. Yes, class is over for today. Leave the class. Leave it.